There are mental things, like qualia, and physical things, like atoms. A priori, what mental things there are is epistemically probabilistically independent from what physical things there are. If we just had our a priori knowledge to go off of, knowing about the physical world would tell us nothing about the mental world, and vice versa. This is true even if you're Isaac here, an identity theorist. He thinks that C fibers firing is identical to the quale of pain. They're literally the same thing, like water and H2O. You might not see how C fibers firing, a physical thing, could be identical to pain, an experience, but according to Isaac, they are. Now, Isaac, I would like to compare you with Steve. Steve thinks that when someone stubs their toe, their response of saying, "Ow, my toe," and grabbing their foot is completely determined by physical processes in their brain, completely obeying the laws of physics. Do you agree? Indeed. Coolio. So Steve thinks that human behavior is determined by physics, but he wants to answer the question, why is it we feel the quale of pain whenever C fibers fire? So he claims that C fibers produce the quale of pain. But you can imagine a hypothetical world where we just swap that with C fibers producing the quale of pleasure. Both of these options are equally likely a priori, because if you just analyze C fibers a priori, you wouldn't be led to think that it produces any particular quale. And there's no difference with the physical world, no matter what quale is produced. So a priori, he can't predict one quale rather than the other being the product of C fibers firing. That makes sense, but I don't think that C fibers and the quale of pain are separate things. However, I do also think that human behavior is determined by physics, and I also want to answer the question, why is it we feel the quale of pain whenever C fibers fire? So I claim that C fibers firing is identical with the quale of pain. Okay, but can you imagine a hypothetical world where we just swap that with C fibers being identical to the quale of pleasure? Well, if you just analyze C fibers a priori, it would be impossible to figure out whether they were identical to the quale of pain, or the quale of pleasure, or some other quale. Sure, there might be some reason why C fibers can only be identical to the quale of pain, but I don't know what it is. So both of these identity claims are a priori equally probable. And my original claim that C fibers are identical to the quale of pain? That claim didn't actually change the physical world at all. Our physical behavior is determined by our brains following the laws of physics, and then this claim that C fibers are identical to pain was just added on at the end to explain why the pain was experienced whenever C fibers fired. But I can just as easily imagine a hypothetical world which is physically the same, with the same nerves firing and all the same behaviors, but pleasure is experienced whenever C fibers fire. And then to explain our experiences in that world, C fibers are identical to the experience of pleasure. So, a priori, I would assign the same epistemic probability to pain being experienced whenever C fibers fire, and pleasure being experienced whenever C fibers fire. It seems that the identity theorists and the epiphenomenalists are in the same boat. A priori, what mental things there are is epistemically probabilistically independent from what physical things there are. Thanks, Isaac!